Hey everybody, that annoying low pressure system that has been plaguing the United States for over a week now is finally moved off of the United States' east coast. And as you can see on this map here, there it is just off the coast, and most of the snow is settling down now for the east coast. After this moves off to the east, continues, goes out over the Atlantic Ocean, but we got a little sneaky storm here that has had a little bit of an uptrend here on its strength and the amount of snow that it's going to put down. So we're going to be talking about that. Moving this forward, you can see that little low pressure system up there is going to move off to the east and eventually exit off of the coast before going through Virginia and off into the Atlantic there. And then we have another low pressure system that's going to start over here in California, make its way into Texas, but it's weak. Definitely a little bit of a weak low pressure system here and not a whole lot of cold air for it. So it looks like those snow chances are dwindling here as this moves off to the east, but some rain showers and maybe even some thunderstorms near the Gulf Coast there. It's something that we're going to have to monitor off of that. And then going off over here to the west coast, we have yet another system moving in that's going to bring some extra precipitation over there. We'll be going over that in today's forecast as well. Yeah, as you can see, this is what it looks like in precipitation here, and as you can see, we still have that snow finishing up there in Maine, and then that's going to move off to the east. And then watch this over here near the Great Lakes, starting to see a little clipper system that's going to be bringing in some snow down from Ohio going into Pennsylvania, West Virginia as well, and then pushing this through. You can see, unfortunately, it kind of falls apart there, runs out of that moisture as it moves into Virginia, then off into the Atlantic. So not expecting really much snow other than over here in Michigan, down into Ohio and Pennsylvania. We'll be talking about the amounts later on here, and then check your eyes over here to Texas, kind of near the coast here. You can see with its little glob of rain. Past model runs were showing that this thing might have some snow on the top side. That has since not been the case. So a little bit of a model change, which is to be expected, as it was 4 to 5 days out, and now we are around that 3 to 4 day range. So, you know, things are still going to be a little bit inconsistent, but maybe some showers and flooding is going to be possible. Small chance along the coast here. The main thing, though, is going to be lightning and heavy rain as this moves off to the east, and then yeah, it starts to interact with the jet stream here. Goes a little bit up to the north and might bring in just enough cold here for some snow showers to drop here, but other than that, a lot of the country is going to be quiet. I mean, it's going to be crickets chirping. You can be able to hear a pin drop. It's going to be quiet out there, but that's just how it goes sometimes. So zooming in here to the R 3K model, we're going to be talking about the snow that's coming for the Great Lakes. You can see that starts to pick up here on Sunday morning, moving into Sunday afternoon, and then pushing into Sunday night. You can see that a decent amount of snow could be dropping out of this. A little bit of an uptrend. Last time I looked at this, it was a little bit lighter snow, but now I'm seeing a little bit more snow than the last couple of model runs. And then that moves into Pennsylvania by Monday morning, early Monday morning, and that continues there through Pennsylvania up into the mountainous regions there for West Virginia going into Monday afternoon. And so that's as far as this model goes. If we want a little bit further of a picture, we got to use the NAM 3K, and you can see it's a little bit more bullish there around Michigan going into Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, and then as that moves into Ohio, there's still some snow, but not as much according to the NAM. And then a lot of that snow pushes down into West Virginia and the mountains of the West Virginia. So definitely some flakes out there possible for a lot of folks, with maybe some light accumulation. All right, now looking at the estimated total snowfall with this system. This is the GFS right now, and pushing this all the way into Monday, going into Tuesday. You can see with this little system that's going to come through, we could potentially have, according to the GFS, you know, a dusting from Wisconsin down into the Ohio Valley, with the amount starting to pick up the closer you get to Lake Erie here, with some higher totals up in the mountainous regions of Pennsylvania down into West Virginia, with really a dusting everywhere else. Now going over to the NAM model, pushing this all the way through, you can see that it's a little bit more bullish along the coast here of the Great Lakes, along here for Ohio going into Pennsylvania and New York, with a little band here of 2 to 3 inches of snow possible. Last time we had a system do this, the models kind of underplayed this Great Lakes thing, and we actually got a little bit more snow than expected along this coast. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was the more accurate model out of the few, mainly for this this region here near Lake Erie, and then coming down into the mountainous regions here of West Virginia and Pennsylvania. You can see a little bit more elevated, some spots there even getting up into 6, maybe 7 inches of snow on the very highest peaks of those mountains, but for the most part around 2 to 3 inches in the lower elevations of the mountains. And then as you get into the lowest elevations, you're getting into a dusting, maybe an inch, making it up into New York. Now moving on over to this system that's going to be coming down into south central Texas, then into the southeast. You can see this little energy kind of move through Texas, bringing some rain showers there just to the north of Houston, heading into Louisiana. Maybe some lightning happening over here near the coast, popping over here to the southeast. You can see that continues off to the east, down, in the southern portion of Mississippi and Alabama, going into Florida, bringing some showers. Maybe some thunder is going to be possible. Not expecting any severe weather out of this, and it's not going to be, it's not looking like it's going to be a big snowmaker, but we got to watch it. You can see there's snow just to the north because that's where that freezing line is. That sinks a little bit further to the south. You maybe could get some flakes up in the Appalachians, but it's looking like a pretty low chance of snow, at least with this system. Now looking at the estimated precipitation amounts, it's just the inches of rain you should expect with this storm, pushing this all the way through to that storm that comes through here into Texas, Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama. Maybe a quarter of an inch to a half an inch, maybe some isolated spots of an inch of rainfall, especially there in Louisiana. Then as you move off to the east, closer to the coast, could potentially have some elevated rain amounts of up to an inch, inch and a half, but nothing too crazy. Probably not too big of a flood threat, if any. And then pushing this all the way through into the southeast, going into Florida. As this pushes through, you can see that it's the highest amounts of rain are going to be really isolated here to the coastal areas, so really not much of a flood threat. Now moving on to the west coast, you can see that we do have some rain currently happening in some spotty areas across the west coast, and then pushing this forward. You can see that system that was supposed to come into Southern California there, it's kind of gone directly to the south. So that was one of the scenarios. It could have gone a little bit more north, brought some more rain to Los Angeles, or it could have gone south, and it decided to go south on this latest model run. We'll continue to monitor it though for some changes. You can see there's some snowflakes that might fall into the mountainous regions there in Arizona, going into New Mexico as well, and that moves off to the east. And then we got another system that's going to be impacting the west coast here. This is a little bit far out, so things are going to change with this, but up in the mountains could see some snow and some rain in Northern California with this storm coming in. And then looking at the estimated precipitation amounts, you can see that we're talking, not a whole lot of rain, nothing compared to like these last storms that we've seen come through the west coast. Mainly just talking about a quarter of an inch to an inch of rainfall all the way along the coast, with the highest areas being up here in the most northern part of the Pacific Northwest. But all right, that's it for me. Thank you for tuning in, and have a wonderful rest of your evening. See ya.